The Transporter was a surprise, some fun-filled, action-packed flick for Jason Statham, but what about its sequel? Well, the first of its two sequels, anyway, with him. Well, I think it cranked it up a notch to some more action-packed fun. Prepare yourselves as I talk about Transporter 2 right now. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2005 French action flick Transporter 2, released by Fox, directed by Louis Leterrier, written by Luc Besson and Robert Mark Kamen. The sequel to The Transporter and second installment of the franchise. Jason Statham returns as Frank Martin, aka the title character, along with Alessandro Gassmann, Amber Valletta, Kate Nauta, Francois Berleand, Matthew Modine, and Jason Flemyng. Of course, Berleand was in the first film. This time around, Frank Martin is tasked with protecting the young son of a politician from an international drugs cartel. Now, this did even better than its predecessor and what have you. While it still got mixed reviews, it was still a big success. It was released in August of 2005 and a month later in the US. Now, of course, the film was released by Fox here in the US, while in France it was produced by Europa Corp. I actually liked this film. It was pretty fun, what have you. Now, if you haven't seen my review of the first film, click on that and it'll take you to my review in case you might have missed it or see it again if you like. I can see it's already been getting so many views and what have you so far. I'm really impressed. Thank you. Just want to give you enough time. Okay, on with the story. Frank Martin has relocated from southern France to Miami, in Florida, of course. As a favor to a friend, he becomes a temporary chauffeur for the wealthy Billings family. Excuse me. Frank bonds with their son Jack, whom he drives to and from elementary school in his new Audi AAW12. The marriage of Jefferson and Audrey Billings is under great strain due to the demands of his high profile government job. Frank prepares for the arrival of his friend, Inspector Tacconi, who has come to spend the holiday in Florida with Frank. When Frank takes Jack for a medical checkup, he realizes that imposters have killed and masqueraded as a doctor and receptionist. A lengthy fight erupts between thugs led by Lola. Frank manages to escape with Jack. Just as they arrive at Jack's house, he receives a phone call informing him that he and Jack are in the sights of a sniper capable of penetrating the car's bulletproof glass. Forced at gunpoint to let Lola into the car, Frank speeds away with Jack, evading many pursuing police cars. They arrive at a warehouse where Frank meets Gianni Cellini, the ringleader of the operation. Frank is ordered to leave without Jack. He discovers an explosive attached to the car and succeeds in removing it a split second prior to detonation. Jack is returned to his family after the payment of a ransom, but unknown to them and Jack has been injected with a deadly virus that will eventually kill anyone whom the child breathes on. Suspected by everyone except Audrey of being one of the kidnappers, Frank tracks down the remaining fake Dr. Dimitri with Tacconi's assistance. Frank pretends to infect Dimitri with the same virus, having failed to retrieve the injector from the doctor's office, then lets him escape. Dimitri panics and hurries to a lab to get the cure, with Frank following behind. In his panic, Dimitri kills Tipov, another of Gianni's men, in his attempt to force the scientist in charge of the lab to give him the cure. Frank arrives and kills first another henchman, then informs Dimitri that he was never infected before killing him. However, when Frank refuses to bargain with him, the scientist hurls the only two vials containing the antidote out of the window into traffic. Frank manages to retrieve only one vial intact. Frank sneaks back into the Billings home and uses the antidote on Jack. Meanwhile, Jefferson, the director of National Drug Control Policy, addresses the heads of main anti-drug organizations from around the world at a conference, unknowingly infecting all of them in the process. Frank drives to Gianni's home and finds that Gianni has decided to inject himself with a remaining supply of antidote as a precaution. After dispatching Gianni's main henchman, Frank has Gianni at gunpoint. Now for the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to sub this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. As I count down, if you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Gianni explains that the Colombian drug cartels are paying him to get rid of their enemies, and that Frank cannot risk killing him, for his death would render the antidote unusable. An armed Lola shows up, leading to a standoff. Gianni leaves Lola to deal with Frank, which results in Frank killing her by impaling her on a wine rack with sharp metal points. Frank tracks Gianni, who is making an escape in his helicopter, to a waiting jet. Using a Lamborghini Murcielago Roadster from Gianni's garage, Frank speeds to the airport and boards Gianni's jet by driving onto the runway and climbing onto the jet's nose gear. After killing the co-pilot, Frank gets into the interior of the plane and confronts Gianni, who pulls a gun on him. When they wrestle for it, a wild shot kills the pilot and the plane crash lands in the ocean. Frank incapacitates Gianni, rendering him immobile while preserving the antidote in his system, then pushes his captive and himself out of the sinking plane just as the police converge to pick them up. The Billings are given the antidote. When Frank visits them in the hospital, before entering their room, he sees them with Jack, who is joking with them. He silently walks back to his car where Tarkani is waiting. He drops his friend at the airport, and Frank receives a call from a man who needs a transporter, to which he replies, "I'm listening." End of story, my friends. Please stand by. I'll be right back. Okay, so what did I think of Transporter 2? Well, I'm going to say it was just a slight bit of a step up from its predecessor. While most critics actually got praised Statham's performance as well as the action sequences and direction of the film, but it got criticism for its screenwriting. Well, that's understandable. But nevertheless, the film did much better than its predecessor, going on to make 89 million worldwide when it was released. It did 43 million. It made 43 million in the US. So that was good. The film sits at 52% on the tomato meter, saying that's a stylish and more focused sequel to The Transport. The movie is over the top fun for fans of the first movie. Yeah. Roger Ebert said it was better than the original. Now, this was just so incredible, and I gotta say, it was really, really something. It was just so incredible. Statham's performance was awesome, and what have you, as Frank Martin. Alessandro Gassmann played Gianni, great villain. Amber Valletta played Audrey Billings. Of course, this was one of the 2 films I mostly remember her by, the other being the Will Smith film Hitch, which was released earlier that same year. Kate Nauta plays Lola, a very badass chick of a villainess, that is. Matthew Modine played Jefferson Billings, good. Jason Flemyng played Dimitri. We have Keith David playing Stapleton, yeah, who I thought was good too. And we have young Hunter Clary playing Jack Billings, very good. And Francois Berleand once again playing Tarconi. And I'm going to say he was good as well. Its score was done by Alexandre Azaria, and that was good too. It had some kicking action had tunes and one of you some really cool tunes actually. Now, the following year, it was released on physical media, and I did have it, but I gave it away. But later on that year, in 2006, Lateria re-released an uncensored version of the film, which I never got to see, and it's roughly 25 seconds longer than the theatrical cut and contains improved CGI, particularly during the car chase from the hospital scene as well as the private jet scene. And it has more violent footage and blood during the fight scenes and contains more nudities in certain scenes with Lola. It's also available in Japan, France, and the UK, as well as Thailand. And also on Blu-ray in France and Japan, both releases are region free. But how the Blu-ray was temporarily banned in North America for legal reasons, but has since been re-released. The uncensored fight footage, as well as a longer car chasing, was only featured as deleted scenes on the US DVD release. Also, deleted footage included the killing of the Doctor. Anyway, Transporter 2 again was so awesome. I really liked how it offered more bad guys and even a bad gal in it. That's what made this film so enjoyable and what have you. So I really did enjoy it for what it had to offer, just like the first one did. 3 years later, a sequel would be released, and Sam would be back in Transporter 3. However, it wouldn't be released by Fox, but by Lionsgate through Europa Corp, which I'll be reviewing that next time. But anyway, Transporter 2, awesome. It has a pretty good cast. The story is fine I as I would like it to be, and the direction by Louis Leterrier was very good. So it's the music and score, and of course it's awesome action sequences. So I thought it was pretty good. But the question is, would I recommend Transport 2? I'd say sure, go ahead. If you like the first one, you're gonna love the second one a whole lot more, definitely. So or if you're a hardcore Jason Statham fan, that would be worth it. But if you're a hardcore completionist, then a one-time watch would be worth it as well. I'm saying that as a just in case. But what did you think of Transporter 2? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of Transporter 3. Yeah. So anyway, if you like this, you can check out my reviews of these other few films that actually has Mr. Statham. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the Italian Job from 2003. Or if you'd like, you can check out my review of Fast and Furious 6 from 2013, or go to the bottom left hand corner and see my review of the follow-up to that, Furious 7 from 2015, and the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.